So Bear, when I first met him, didn't know that he was a writer, and he's an artist, and we quickly gravitated together when he said, "Russ, faith without art is dead." I go, I got you there, because the arts, the writing, the heart is so essential to our understanding of the gospel. Because it's not about the data. It's really about the relationship. Oh wait, am I saying things that somebody already has said?
Inside jokes.
A perfect quote. Oh, Lord, Holy Spirit's moving. I know the Spirit of God is in this place. And I said, Lord, coming in, Lord, you know everyone. You know the hairs on our head. You know what everyone needs. So my normal tendency is to fill the hopper, and the hopper is really full. And Lord, you bring out what you want to bring out. So evidently, it's not about the data is an important piece, right? It's about the relationship, right? And that relationship is an expensive one.
When you're trying to see Jesus as he truly is, you've got to take in all the scriptural, Natalia, all the scriptural data. Oh, come on, work with me, Ed. And not just the pet verses. That's Natalia's favorite word, and I love it when she says it. I should have had her come up and just say the word for us.
As we see God craft our story, we respond by giving God the glory.
All right. Next up, we've got Natalia. Let's welcome Natalia.
The data says, I'm Natalia, I'm from Puerto Rico, and I moved to Southern Maryland for work and whatever else God has planned.
And it was so, while I was mulling over this yesterday as I was finishing up this talk, that Natalia sent me a little devotional she wrote about Christmas carols in Puerto Rico. And she's making the point, well, this is very brief, but it fits right in about how in Puerto Rico, Jesus is at the center of the songs. And she's wrestling with how she was struggling, between the cultures. But I'm going to let Natalia tell you that really quick. But it so beautifully illustrates what we're saying. Let's welcome our sister.
The data says. The data says. Good morning. The data says.
to church, everybody. This is it. You made it. This is our praise party.